Put you right down there if I could.
I don't know if that'll be permanent, but we'll figure it out.
Okay.
Keith, you know these ladies?
I've met Rob.
Brandy.
Brandy.
Diane?
Diane. Yes.
Robin?
And Robin.
You probably
Did
met
you meet Robin?
And I met Robin.
Okay, Robin, can we start the recording, please?
On.
Call the July 13th, 2021 meeting of the GBC EDC to order at 5:15. Called, establish a quorum. Let's do roll call from my right, please.
Johannes here.
Keith Bond here.
Brandy Collard here.
Joe Lawrence here. We do have a quorum. Mr. Wyrick is out this evening with our newly appointed board member. That's 4 of the 7. To remind everyone to pull your microphones close to your mouth before you speak, please, so that we can pick up the audio of this. Stand with me for the invocation and pledge of allegiance, please. Father, we thank you for the opportunity to gather here to take care of the financial business and financial development of the wonderful city of Gun Barrel. Pray that you would guide our thoughts and our actions here, and that they would bring glory to you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, item 3 is new board member swearing in. That happened before the meeting to establish a quorum. I'd like to welcome Mr. Keith Bond to this board. Item 4, citizens' comments. Robin, do we have any citizens' comments? No citizens' comments. Item 5, public hearing. Public hearing is open on the W456 expansion loan to David Westerfield in the amount of $200,000 for the purchase and renovation of the property at 426 South Gun Barrel Lane. Is anyone in attendance to speak at that public hearing? Hearing no response, the public hearing is now closed. Item 7, adoption of the minutes from the June meeting. Do I have a motion?
Collard, motion to adopt the minutes from the June meeting.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second, Johannes.
Motion to adopt the minutes from the June meeting by Ms. Collard, seconded by Ms. Johannes. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we will vote from my right, please.
Johannes, yes.
Keith, yes.
Collard, yes.
Lawrence, yes. Motion passes. Item 8, adoption of financials for May. May I have a motion, please?
Motion to accept the May financials.
Have a motion
Johannes.
by Ms. Johannes. Do I have a second?
Collard, second.
Collard, second. Any discussion? Vote from my right, please.
Johannes, yes.
Bond, yes.
Collard, yes.
Lawrence, yes. Motion passes. Item 9, Director's Report. Ms. Cooper?
As you're well aware, we have much going on, and July 27th will be the time at which we will formalize some of the work we've been doing over the last while at the City Council meeting. And I hope all of you will attend because it is a big meeting for us. And today, I met with some of the people involved in our big project over the phone, and things are moving along very quickly. We're really happy with our progress. The only thing that is holding us up at the moment is the partnership agreement, which we hope will be available by the end of the week. We have this new application for Angie Salon for a facade grant. Well, actually, what we are going to start calling, if it passes, we're going to start calling those a B grant, the smaller grant. And one of our facade grants did not materialize, even though we had already had the check cut and everything. Ann's Pharmacy decided they did not want to accept the grant. There's a long story there. It has changed ownerships, and the new owners want absolutely nothing to do with the previous owners, so they didn't want to take that money. So we have put $3,500 back into our fund, and there is one other possibility coming up for an A grant, one of our redevelopment grants. And that will be, I think, kind of a winding down for this fiscal year of those. Does anybody have any questions of me?
Will we have a revised budget, or are you going to just wait till the end of the fiscal year?
Actually, we did revise the budget, but unfortunately, our bookkeeper has not been able to meet with me yet. July 20th, we are meeting so that she can put it into the books. And by then, I am already going to be working on the new budget. So however, the new budget is going to be much easier for me to do this year. Having done it once before, it makes all the difference in the world. And now that we have it formally categorized into various things instead of one just line item, big session of line items, I think you're going to find it much easier to understand and therefore to approve. And that will be at our August meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any further questions for Ms. Cooper? Thank you, Ms. Cooper.
Thank you.
Item 10, discuss and/or take action to accept a new renovation grant form to combine grants into one application. Ms. Cooper?
The reason we wanted to do this is because, as you know, I have been really encouraging people to spend the bigger money rather than just go for a little, what we used to be called the facade grant, to spend the bigger money, and it has worked very well. It's been really successful, and we have had big improvements, partly on 198 and mostly on Main Street heading towards the bridge. A lot of people are noticing the improvements there, and that is thanks to the grants. Certainly, the people who own the buildings put in a great deal more than we do, but it is the same story as attracting somebody to your community. They want to know you care. They want to see you willing to put money into something, and that's why they have been really successful. So we'll hopefully be able to go back into that next year, but it just depends on our budget because we have a lot coming up. So far, we are holding our own because our sales taxes are so high. We're doing very well at the moment.
Okay, that's the introduction of this grant proposition. May I have a motion, please?
Motion to accept the grant proposition.
Ms. Johannes?
Yes, as
Thank you.
presented.
Do I have a second?
Collard, second.
Collard, second. Is there discussion?
Just appreciate the work that went into getting this put together for us. I know over the last several months, we've struggled with some of the paperwork and getting this ironed out so that it met all the needs required by the city and by the EDC. So I appreciate you guys working on this, and Robin and Gail both, and I don't know who else worked on it, but this will certainly make things easier moving forward for us to review as well. So thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Cooper, is it your intent for this grant to replace the existing facade improvement grant and the existing redevelopment grant?
Yes, and finally, I knew that some of you weren't comfortable with the beautification word, and I wasn't comfortable with the redevelopment word because we aren't actually redeveloping. So I thought about it as a house and decided, let's just call them renovation grants, because really that's what they're doing. They're renovating their properties. So we're going to call them renovation grants, and we will have the upper one, Grant A, and the lower end one, Grant B.
Will this be the limit of the grants? Will this delete the Boots to Business program?
We will have to talk about that if the board really wants to continue with those. I do not recommend it because we have had such bad experiences with them. And quite frankly, the ones that have been successful, they would have been successful without a grant because the people could afford to do them. They have been a lot of trouble ongoing as a result of the way they're done because it's money up front. And as you know, my philosophy is not money up front unless it is like a major, for instance, like Burke's, something like that. And that wasn't even up front. That was after renovations. But just giving an entrepreneur $50,000 and it's not a good economic development plan.
The reason for my question was if that was your intent, I would think it prudent to get a friendly amendment to this motion to accept this renovation grant and delete the prior three grants. If that's not your intent, I think that we probably need to get a friendly amendment to that motion that this grant replaces the previously approved facade and redevelopment grant that the council approved in 2019, just so we're covered so that if it passes, we're up to date.
Well, I think that is the intent of the motion.
Okay.
The only thing it doesn't address is the Boots to Business, which is a separate issue, and I would like the board to look at that at a future date. This is just amalgamating those two grants into one, and that's, I believe, the way except the new renovation, grant form to combine the grants into one.
Okay, so it is the understanding of this board that this will supersede the previously approved grants. Is there further discussion? I have a couple of questions on this, Ms. Cooper. The current redevelopment grant, the most recently approved version by council in 2019, started a grant A at $10,000. You went back to the old way of starting at $15,000. Was that an oversight, or did you intend to do that?
Excuse me. It was my opinion that they actually are up to 25. It didn't really, it just says they have to do a minimum of $30,000 in order to be approved.
Yeah, the 25 didn't change. It's in comparing the version, the grant application that was attached to our packet, which had been superseded by the 2019. The version attached to the packet started at $15,000, as does this one. The one that superseded that, approved by the council in 2019, started at 10.
I would guess that was the oversight, to be quite honest.
Okay.
Because it was always minimum of $30,000 investment, which requires a $15,000 grant to go with it.
Okay. A couple other differences I noticed in the grant that we're currently operating under, that's council approved. Under requirement of Grant A, item 6, funds are paid on a reimbursement basis once completed work has been verified and a certificate of occupancy has been issued. It doesn't say who verifies this, whereas the current version says has been verified by city staff on the redevelopment grant, and it says by city inspector and 2 EDC personnel on the facade grant. Do you feel that's necessary to?
I felt that was a
something?
little onerous, especially for just being a sign, basically. So we simplified it, but we did make it very clear that they must abide by all the city guidelines and go by all of their requirements, and we attached that requirement to the grant. So I don't think there would be a problem there. Now, it is the certificate of occupancy basically addresses the city staff portion because that comes from city staff. They have to have done everything for the seal.
Okay, thank you. And on the item 7, grant applications and awards can be made in any of the reimbursable activities, et cetera. Item D on the currently approved is utility upgrades. This version has been changed to mechanical upgrades, such as HVAC upgrades. My question would be, if I've got a business and suddenly I need a new $20,000 air conditioning unit, how does it benefit the city to pay for half of that? I can see where utility upgrades could help, but my question is, just HVAC upgrades, you know, is that a good use of the city's money?
Well, it's EDC money. The reason for these grants does not have anything to do with number of employees or what is happening at the business. It is all for the edification of the buildings themselves. And that is what makes the improvement to the city. It's a partnership with our business owners so that they can get their buildings in better shape. It doesn't relate to anything other than just getting their buildings in better shape. And if they need a new air conditioner, that is very important, because if it's going to be too hot in the place, people aren't going to come in, and then they aren't going to spend their money and no sales tax.
Okay, that, to kind of sum up the rest of it, and that kind of broaches my next question. I noticed that the requirement on the form for increased sales tax or increased employees has been completely removed. And that's something that, from the previously approved set, council added that in 2019. I say council added it. I don't know who added it, but that was on the 2019 form. So if it's your professional opinion that that's not needed, we can move to further discussion. I trust that council will address that. Is there further discussion on this item? Okay, we are voting to accept the new renovation grant form to combine the facade improvement grant and the redevelopment grant into one application. Vote from my right, please.
Johannes, yes.
Bond, yes.
Collard, yes.
Lawrence, yes. Motion passes. Item 11, discuss and/or take action to add Diane Johannes as a signatory and remove Susan Ball and Ken Foster. Do I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion that we accept Diane Johannes as a signatory and remove Susan Ball and Ken Foster.
Mr. Bond made that motion. Do I have a second?
Collard, second.
Have a second. Discussion? Ms. Cooper, my question would be, I certainly have no problem adding Ms. Johannes as a signatory, since at the last meeting, we appointed her as the interim vice president. My question would be, is it necessary to remove Susan Ball since she is temporarily suspended pending investigation? And so would you address that, please?
Well, since she has been definitely removed as treasurer, there is no reason for her. She's been replaced as treasurer, so there's no reason for her to be a signatory.
Okay. And Mr. Foster's removed as he moved to council.
Yes.
Is there further discussion on this item? Hearing none, we will vote from my right, please.
Johannes, yes.
Bond, yes.
Collard, yes.
Lawrence, yes. Motion passes. Item 12, discuss and/or take action to approve the application for a loan from Southside Bank in the amount of $500,000 at a fixed rate of 3.71% for 15 years. Do I have a motion, please?
Motion to approve the application for a loan from Soundside Bank in the amount of $500,000 at a fixed rate of 3.71% for 15 years. Johannes.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Collard, second.
Thank you, Ms. Collard. Open to discussion. Ms. Cooper, you want to weigh in here? Did we not previously approve the loan at 3.71%?
We approved it. However, you did not have documents, and now you at least have a sort of a document from them. I just wanted you to have those to know what the final amount is, the 3.71%, all of that type of thing. And it's still just, unfortunately, a draft agreement, but Jeff is working on it and will have it to us very shortly. The main thing is, excuse me, I'm so sorry. The $500,000 is coming from Southside Bank. We have been dealing with an organization named Government Capital. They have put together the documents for it, and Southside Bank evidently uses Government Capital to do all of their loan work. So everything we have done so far has been through them. But the loan is definitely with Southside Bank, and I just wanted you to be aware that it is now finalized at 3.71%, that the documents are being completed, and the loan will be finished.
Okay, to clarify, 3.71% is the fixed rate that we voted on before. That is the same rate, unchanged.
Excuse me, that's right.
Okay, and
We did take that to council. We took the percentage rate to council, and they agreed with the 3.71.
And for further clarification, does this loan, will this loan be added to our existing loan, or it will be a separate loan?
It's an additional loan.
Because of the different interest rate.
Yes, and it also, first of all, we're paying it off differently. We're paying it off quarterly, which brings down our principal faster, and it is after one half of the term of it has expired, this one can be totally paid off. The other one could not.
No penalty?
So they're slightly different.
Okay, further discussion on this item? Hearing none, we'll vote from my right, please.
Johannes, yes.
Bond, yes.
Collard, yes.
Lawrence, yes. Motion passes. Item 13, discuss and/or take action to approve the application for a $250,000 grant from Texas Parks and Wildlife for boating infrastructure. Before we have a motion on this, I'll let Ms. Cooper introduce this item.
Okay, this is the first of several grants that we will be applying for in conjunction with our project. And the reason we had to put this on the agenda now is because it has to be totally completed by council on the 27th. It has an August 13th deadline. So this came up very quickly, and our partners and I are working on it, and Robin will be helping too. It has a 50,000 match, and then it is 200,000, so it comes to $250,000. This is what's called a big grant, boating infrastructure grant. We are then going to be going after some others, which are boating accessibility grants, and they are different. This one we can apply for ourselves, along with the $1 million coming up. But the bag, as I call it, the boating acquisition grant, has to be applied for through the city, and then we have to do a pass-through with the city on it. This one we can do ourselves.
Thank you, Ms. Cooper. Do I have a motion on this item?
I know it seems odd. Any of you have not, who in the board who have not been involved with grants. Grants need to, the person writing the grant has to actually have approval to even write the grant in the public sector. So you are right now just allowing us to make the application. That's what this means.
This has been discussed at previous meetings,
Yes.
so I think I don't think this is a shock. to further discuss this, since Ms. Cooper's introduced it, I will need a motion.
Okay, Johannes, motion to approve the application for the $250,000 grant from Texas Parks and
Thank you, Mr.
Wildlife for
Johannes.
boating infrastructure.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Bond, second.
Have a motion and second. Open floor to discussion. Any questions for Ms. Cooper on this? Everybody understand it? Ms. Cooper, my only question would be that you gave us a proposal here from MHS.
Yes.
Is it the intent to have them prepare this grant application?
You do have to, although we have to work on it too, you do pretty well have to have a professional grant writer when you're doing anything like this, and he will be ours. We normally would use, in the past, I have used Trailer and Associates out of Tyler, but for this type of grant, Trailer and Associates recommended that we use Hunter Rush out of MHM Designs, and they use a different system. So we pay a flat $10,000 for this, and plus some fees, basically you might say running around fees. And so because we have to pay this $10,000 regardless, what we did, first of all, we met at the site and discussed it to make sure that he felt that it was viable. And then we spoke with the woman, her name is Robin, at Texas Parks and Wildlife, and she feels very certain that all of our grants are going to be approved, that they are in good shape, that we have a good project, and that we are going about it professionally, and we will be successful with them. But Hunter Rush himself said he does not like to take on a grant app if he doesn't think it will be successful because it reflects badly on him. So this is good.
So the motion is to approve this application. Should the motion not be to approve 10,000 plus?
Yes, we should amend it for that, yes.
I'll amend it.
That had not come up yet when we did the agenda, the contract.
Okay, then, and Ms. Johannes, I believe you made this motion. Would you care to amend this motion to approve the application and the retainage of MHS in the amount of about, I'm going to say $12,500 to put this grant application together?
Yes, sir. I'll be glad to amend my motion to include the fees and the retainage of MHS to do this in the amount of, we're estimating $12.5 or $1,000 to do it. And also note in discussion that, some entities have grant writers on staff, that this is all they do. And that's, so that would be a staff member that would have to be fully knowledgeable about grant writing and the process. So for us to get someone to do this, that they're specific to this, certainly is cheaper than if we had to have a staff member that was a grant writer. So we're going to come out ahead on the financial end of this for sure, having written school grants and things in the education sector, so.
I agree with that. Would you like to make that $12,500 plus or minus 10%? Or, I just threw out a number. That gives you $2,500 for travel and reproduction, which is probably okay. You want to leave it 12.5? You want to add a?
Yeah, let's do that with the percentage. Yeah, I agree with what you said, yeah.
$12,500 maximum with plus or minus 10%. That is the friendly amendment.
Yeah.
Ms. Collard, do you accept that friendly amendment?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so further discussion on that or discussion on the friendly amendment? My only question is, Ms. Cooper, I guess that will be rolled into that 10,000, 12,500 will be rolled into the budget for the next fiscal year?
Actually, we have money in our, because we took out a $500,000 loan for this project, and we have committed $500,000 to it. We have money in that because the land was only $375,000.
Okay, further discussion or further questions? Hearing none, we will vote for my right, please.
Johannes, yes.
Bond, yes.
Collard, yes.
Lawrence, yes. Motion passes. Thank you. Item 14, discuss and/or take action to transfer $500,000 from Techstar to Southside Bank in order to achieve a higher interest rate. May I have a motion, please?
Collard, motion to transfer $500,000 from Techstar to Southside Bank in order to achieve a higher interest rate.
Ms. Collard's motion. Do I have a second?
Johannes, second.
Johannes, second. Open the floor to discussion. Ms. Cooper, my question would be, this board has previously discussed this several times, and the question was, we didn't know exactly what the interest rate was from each of these two institutions. Have you determined that?
Yes, and I had mentioned it previously. At the moment, we are getting $25 a month for our $400,000 at Prosperity Bank. And we are getting $25 a month for the money we have at Southside, which is like $250. From Techstar, for our $600,000, we are getting $5 a month.
Do you have the interest rates?
Yes, I believe it was .032. It's on our, should be, well, it's okay. It was .032 on Techstar and .1 something, but I can get the exact figures for you if you would like. I was looking more at the amounts.
Well, the reason for my question is it was pointed out previously by Mr. Kyle, who had been dealing with Techstar, that varies, and when you look at an annual, it's substantially higher. You found that's not the case? Okay.
It may have been in the past. Certainly, things vary, but Techstar has not been paying well actually for the full year that I've been here.
Okay. Any
And I
further?
think Robin just went to get the exact rates for you.
Any further discussion on this item? Board, would y'all like to wait until Robin returns with the interest rate? I see a couple of head shakes, yes. We'll hold off till Robin gets back.
There also is one other item involved, and that is that Techstar is not local, and our local banks really should be benefiting from having our money within them, especially when their rates are much better. Have you got it, Robin? Thank you.
Average monthly rate is .010, and over here it is .10.
The average monthly rate is 0.01%. And that's on Techstar. On Prosperity, it's the annual percentage yield, these are both those comparisons, is 0.1%. So as you can see, it's 10 times as much.
Southside?
That's actually on Prosperity, but Southside, and I think I've lost it
This is
here.
all the same account.
Oh,
South side's a little different.
oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, I think Southside came out to .13, but we'll see in a minute. In the past year on Techstar, we have earned $68.48 on $614,000. Okay. Southside is, yeah, .14. So it's even a little higher than Prosperity, which I thought.
Ms. Collard, does that answer your questions? Any further discussion on this item?
Thank you, Robin.
Hearing none, we'll vote from my right, please.
Johannes, yes?
Bond, yes.
Collard, yes.
Lawrence, yes. Motion passes. Item 15, discuss and/or take action to approve a partnership agreement with Y&S. Ms. Cooper?
Unfortunately, not ready yet, not till the end of the week. We were hoping for it.
Will we need to table that or just delete it?
We can just remove it from the agenda.
Item 15 is hereby removed from the agenda. Item 16 will now become item 15. Discuss and/or take action to approve a renovation grant B to Angie's Salon in the amount of $1,650. This will not technically be a renovation grant B because that renovation grant form has not been approved by council, so it will be a facade improvement grant, which is the form it was included in your packet on.
Yes.
Is that correct, Ms. Cooper?
Yes, that's right.
Do I have a motion, please?
This facility is located in Grant Sims, Mid-Cities little shopping center.
Let's hold off, if you don't mind, please, until we get a motion. Do I have a motion to
Oh, sorry.
discuss and/or take action on a renovation grant to Angie's Salon in the amount of $1,650?
Motion to approve the grant to improve Angie's Salon in the amount of $1,650. Johannes.
Thank you, Mr. Johannes. Do I have a second?
Collard, second.
Collard, second. Thank you, Ms. Collard. I'll open this to discussion. Ms. Cooper?
I'm sorry, this is a beauty salon that actually was attracted from Maybank into Grant Sims Shopping Center. And it's a small operation, but she has a lovely salon there. And she really is just applying to have her sign done. All of the other signs in the area are much nicer looking than, well, actually, at the moment, she has none. She just has flowers. So people really cannot find the salon. So she's putting up a sign that looks like the dentist sign beside it.
Is she in the place that has a sign on the front of the building? I mean, it's right down here?
No, it's on 198 you know where State Farm is? That's the shopping center.
Okay.
In there, yeah. Yeah, it's the one that he renovated and put all the windows in and
Okay.
did a grant with us. Yeah, it's in that one.
Okay. Do we have any questions or discussion on this item? Ms. Cooper, I see one estimate. This form says two, but I certainly think we can overlook that because we all know how hard it is to get estimates. I don't see any picture of the place, or are these of the place? Is this the salon?
That is what was there, and she is taking the space, and I think on the end of it, I believe on the end of it, she had a little statement. Yes, that's it, yeah. I believe at the end of it, she had a little statement from someone stating that they would not give a bid.
This is her building?
this is the building she's in, she's a little further down, and she's gonna get a sign like this dentist sign.
And so
Her
there's-
current sign
Like, oh, sorry, like this one.
looks like that.
Her current sign looks like that, but that's not her
I
current sign.
think that's what's up there.
This is the one it's going to look like.
It's gonna look like that, but right now, she's in a space that doesn't have her name on it, and it has this old sign.
She took the sign down, so it has nothing now. Yeah. That's what was there at the time that she was originally making the application. She's had
So
it
we
taken.
don't have a picture of her current situation.
No.
I don't see a letter from the property owner, which is required. Will we have that?
There is one. He may have just done it in an email.
Robin, can you address that?
Grant Sims did agree to it.
I read that somewhere.
I mean, I don't have any objection as long as it's included in the package before we fund this. He did approve it?
Yeah, we'll make sure that it's in there before you approve it.
Okay.
I mean, before you approve the funding.
Further discussion on this item or further questions for Ms. Cooper regarding this item? So basically, it's for LED lighting of a sign similar to Dr. Underreiner Family Dentistry.
Correct.
And the estimate's for $3,300 total. It's a retrofit of an existing sign. That's why I'm interested to see what they have up there. It's retrofit of an existing sign with LED lighting, resurface, et cetera, et cetera. So $3,300. Not having a picture, I can't offer a personal evaluation. Any question or further discussion?
Ms. Cooper, since she came and moved her salon, do you know how many other hairdressers she has in employment, or is it just her, or?
It's she and her partner. She sold her other practice, her building, to the people who were working for her, and she and her partner just moved on over on their own.
Okay,
Yep.
alrighty.
Oh, and she also has she doesn't already have, she's going to have a facial person and a massage person.
So that'll add some jobs for us as well, so, okay.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote from my right, please.
Johannes, yes?
Bond, yes.
Colored, yes.
Lawrence, yes. Motion passes. Have a motion to adjourn, please.
Motion to adjourn, Johannes.
Motion to adjourn. Any objection? We are adjourned. Thank you, City Council people and Mr. Mayor, for attending our meeting.
Thank you all, and welcome, Keith.
And welcome.
Not bad.
Okay.
Under an hour.
You just leave it and they'll take care of it, unless you want to save any of it.
Keith, leave your book, if you will. You're welcome to take any of the printed material, but leave your binder, please.
Tell you what, if you don't mind.